Again, my name is Steve, the founder and CEO of Freedom Wealth Elevation. Today, I'm going to share a proven framework that prevents people from living paycheck to paycheck, like I said earlier. So, three strategies that I'm going to cover that's going to kind of set the tone for this webinar. The session will cover three areas: the right mindset into creating wealth, the right strategy, and then the consistent execution. Because income alone doesn't create wealth. Hard work alone doesn't create wealth. Intelligence alone doesn't create wealth. So let me ask you a question. What is your money doing when you're asleep or when you're on vacation? Throughout this section, I want to encourage you to ask questions. I want you to challenge the old beliefs, the lies you've been told growing up about money and wealth. I would recommend that you ask your questions at the end of the presentation because we have Q&A. Also, I will ask you to stay until the very end because the final strategy becomes the turning point that change everything. So let me ask you a question. You can put it on the chat for me. In the chat for me. When you hear the word wealth, what comes to your mind when you hear the word wealth? Is it income or is it asset? Put in the chat for me. The word wealth. What comes to your mind? Another question I'm going to ask you. If nothing changed financially for the next 5 years for you, will you be very happy where you're heading right now? Will you be happy? If the answer is no, then you're in the right place. The answer is no, you're in the right place. So let me ask you this. If you're not wealthy yet, it is not the reason you think. It's not the reason you think. The reason you're not wealthy yet isn't what you've been told. It's not your income. High earners can be one missed paycheck from that financial disaster or financial ruin. It's not your IQ, because smart people go broke as well. The reason is not your fault. You were never taught how to create wealth, how to turn your income into creating multiple streams of income. We all went to school. We're taught how to be an engineer, doctors, attorneys, bankers, but none of us were told or taught how to build wealth once we get out of college. We were not told what to do with a paycheck when the income arrives. Well, the good news is this is just a financial gap that can be resolved. If you have the patience, the mindset to want to learn, you can fix this very quickly. Now, if you stop chasing only a paycheck and start acquiring businesses, investing in the stock market, investing in your retirement, asset, the 401k, 403b, which I'm going to dive into each one of those things, and also real estate, you will be on your way to creating financial freedom and financial transformation that you deserve, that your family deserve. So let's close the gap by starting with the one shift that changed everything, which is the deployment of your income. It's not making more money, it's deployment of your income into the right vehicles that will help you create wealth that you deserve. Now, who is this webinar for? This webinar is for you, people that are ready to roll up their sleeves and are dedicated to improving their financial status. Professionals, current and future business owners that confuse income with assets. High income earners that are ready to increase their net worth. People that are willing to delay gratification for a better tomorrow. That is what this webinar is all about. People that are willing to be disciplined by creating monthly budget to track the expenses so they can manage how money comes in and out effectively. So let me ask you a question. What one action could you improve? What action can improve your financial future today? Or should I say this month? What one action could improve your financial future? Put in the chat. One action. So as we deep dive into this section today, you're already asking yourself some questions as we go along. And that's how you learn as well. So I want to be clear about who this section of this webinar is not for. This is not for information collectors who attend every webinar but never act. They take a lot of notes but don't do anything. This webinar will not benefit you. If you're looking for a quick win, solution, chasing shortcuts, or you want to be wealthy tomorrow, next week, or next month, or within a quarter, this webinar might not be for you. Also, it's not for people that are not going to follow a proven framework that have helped a lot of people to stop living paycheck to paycheck. It is for wealth builders ready to act on proven system. Because the knowledge you don't use will not move you forward in the right financial direction. We are here for lasting change, not for more data collection. So by the end of this webinar, you will walk away with 3 clear takeaways. The first one is why income does not equate to wealth. Why income does not equate to wealth. This is the trap that keeps our income earners stuck in that mindset. Number 2, the right vehicles that build wealth beyond just your paycheck. The right vehicles that build wealth beyond your paycheck. And then the last one, the one shift, the mindset that changes the wealth strategy. One, mindset. These 3 topics kind of frame the rest of the section. Now, why should you listen to me? It's a very good question to ask. So I want to address this question right away. I started with nothing. I did not have any special advantages, no mentor, no coach. But over the last several decades, I have experienced the journey from financial doubt to financial confidence. It takes time. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of efforts, a lot of sacrifice to get there. And there's going to be some trials and tribulations along the way. The question is, are you ready to weather the storm? Most of the wealthy people, they have tried different things. They fail at something, but they get up very quickly, go back to the drawing board, and try something different. That's called wisdom and knowledge. So I worked in corporate America, which I'm going to talk a little bit in a minute. As an engineer, I built multiple businesses from ground up. Back in 2018, I opened and operated about 17 beauty salons. Now I have 10 of them that are still in operation because I sold 7 of them. I invested in real estate. I invested in stock market. That's where I made most of my money. Now I dedicated my life to mentoring and coaching business owners like yourself that's listening to me right now, aspiring business entrepreneurs that are thinking about going to business one day, people that earn our income but don't see the value, their overall value, the overall net worth. It's kind of stays stagnant, not moving in the right direction. Now I want you to know something. That this presentation is not about me. It's about you. It's about the doctor, engineers, attorneys, nurses that make 6-figure salary, but they don't know where their money goes. It's about the business owners, entrepreneurs who has worked incredibly hard, yet they still feel like financial freedom is still a little out of reach. It is about the person who achieved career success, but wonders if there's a better way or a better strategy out there that is better than just simply working more hours, saving more money, putting your money in the savings account, and hoping everything will be fine one day. So during this section, I will kind of provide you the framework to shorten the journey to financial freedom. Again, your income does not equal to asset. You can work hard all you want, put your money in the savings account, and let inflation eat most of your money. So just imagine this: if you put $100 in a savings account and you earn 1% interest for the year, okay. So at the end of the year, your bank account will show $101. Wow, you made $1 after a year. But the reality is, coded inflation is about 3%, but the actual inflation is higher than that. So let's just look at the recorded one. Let's just use 3%. So now you need that $100, you need about $103 to break even because inflation is taking away 3% of your money. Is that where you want to put your money? Now we just used $100. So imagine hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. And you know what the bank does with your money? They loan the money out to other people at higher rate, 6%, 8%, 10%, 12%, whatever they can get. That's not where you want to put your money. So I would like to drill this statement into your mind as I go along with you this evening. That income doesn't create wealth, assets do. So I'm just like everybody else. I had a good job, professional job as an engineer. I chased races, promotions. I worked long hours, overtime. My income climbed, but my asset didn't move. Remember this, that when your paycheck stops, when you stop working, your paycheck stops as well. The moment you stop working, no more paycheck is coming in. So if you have a 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. job, and you don't show up, no money coming in. But wealth is built on structure, not efforts. System, if you have a proven system, it beats luck. So the wealthy stop pouring energy into earning more money and they channel it into creating asset. They use their money to create asset. So let me ask you right now, is any of your income building asset for you or it is building liabilities? Think about it. Your income that you earn, is it building assets or is buying you more liabilities? We're going to get deep into that in a minute. So if building asset are the answer, or is the answer, the next question is, which ones are the right asset for you, depending on where you are today? So let's look at the right vehicles that build wealth. Now, if you remember, I told you I spent a couple of decades in corporate America, 28 years to be exact. After retiring, I went on to build multiple successful businesses. I also experienced some failures along the way. And I know some people talk about their success or successes, but they never talk about their failures. Yeah, I failed more times than I would like to admit. It's part of this process. That's how you create that knowledge and that wisdom. So those knowledge and wisdom that I've gained is what I want to pour into people. That's what I pour into my clients to help them plan their financial life so they can be further ahead than where I am today. So when I first started my journey, my financial journey, all I had was faith. I worked very hard, but I have a unshakable belief that where you start has nothing to do with where you finish. That's why today I'm very passionate. I mentor aspiring entrepreneurs. Like I said, I'm very passionate about mentoring others that financial freedom is possible for anyone willing to work for it. Anyone, regardless of where you are financially. So my goal during this section is to lay the foundation for wealth building, provide a blueprint, and to inspire you that if an immigrant like myself came to the United States of America with only $600 in my pocket, worked in a restaurant as a dishwasher, I was making $3.95 back then an hour. If I can build wealth, so can you. Now, I'd like to share some painful data that I've collected in the last couple of years. So the first one is 50% of Americans, 50% of Americans earning $100,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck. 50% of six figures income earners live paycheck to paycheck. Those are the ones everyone assume they have it figured out. They're making good money. They have it figured out. By the way, income and wealth are two different things. And most people learn that too late. That income and asset are two different things. And it doesn't matter how much money you make. And I will show you in a few slides ahead. They did what they were told. They did what they were taught. Go to school, get a degree, earn money, work hard, but we were never provided the next step. What are the next steps? What are the fundamentals that will allow you to use that income that you're making to create lasting wealth for you and your family? Nobody taught us that. Now, I want to ask you, I want you to be honest with yourself. If your income stopped this month, how long could you survive? How long could you survive? Ask yourself that. Put it in a note. You don't have to put it on a chart. Put it in a note for yourself. Because I want you to start thinking as you go through this presentation. So, how do you make sure that you're not in that 50% of the people that are living paycheck to paycheck that make six figures in salary? All start with the right vehicles. Right vehicles. That's what you need to create wealth. Don't add income. Of course, high income is a stepping stone. Look, this is another chart. Painful one too. So if I just show you one that 50% of six-figure earners live paycheck to paycheck. Let's look at this one. 40% of people earning $300,000 to about $500,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck.